when did you first know that you were good enough to be a pro?
See, I never looked at it in that way. I just knew that I was the third baseman my whole life. And then I switched to pitching, and the velo was there. And it was all about when my dad really locked in with me, and we started training as a pitcher. And then a year later, drafted by the Rays.
What made you decide? I know at the time you got drafted. What made you decide that you didn't want to sign your first time you got drafted and head to college instead?
I mean, Albany treated me great. They were the first school to call me. They gave me a full ride right off the bat and gave me a starting role freshman year. That's all I wanted. That's all I needed. When the Rays drafted me, I was very, very thankful. It was a dream, and it was even harder to turn it down. But at the time, I needed to make sure the school money was set in place, because I didn't want to go play pro ball without having school set in stone, fully paid for.
So let's take it back to high school, right? So in high school, what was the hype around you that you got, but how did you handle it? Did you really see it throughout like your daily life with like your friends or even kids in school, or just anybody that you didn't normally talk to that would just come up and talk to you and be like, hey man, I've seen a lot and heard a lot about you?
I was kind of a hidden ball player. Nobody really, I was never treated like the all-star. I wasn't voted to be the pro athlete of the school. I just, I went at it different. I had to just keep going each day, just trying to prove myself more and more of why I should have been where I am. Baseball has been my life. I'm just thankful that I had the opportunity to really, pursue it and have the success I had.
Yeah, I mean, so I know we talk about like being the player unknown. So, as being somebody who actually cracked the top prospect list on a San Francisco Giants organization that has won several World Series championships in the last year, like, how does that resonate with you? Like, do you sometimes like look at that list and like can't believe you see your name on there or a picture of your face and like, how did I get here?
To be honest, if I ever hear about that list, it's usually because of my mother. She's my biggest fan, as well as my dad and my sister. But they just tell me that stuff. I don't concentrate on it, and I won't concentrate on it till I'm in the bigs.
Right.
Do you feel like you still have that same mentality, that same mindset, where you weren't the hyped up player? I know there were a lot of players on Long Island who have been like hyped and publicized while they were playing, but you like you said, you didn't. Do you still carry that kind of chip on your shoulder?
I never lost that chip. That's the chip that drives me and always drives me, is that I don't care if I'm the most known person in the world. The fact is every day someone's out there trying to be better than you. Every day someone's out there who's trying to push it a little bit more than you, who wants to get ahead of you. And I can never put myself in the highest point, because if I put myself in the highest point, I stop my drive. So I always got to lower myself, and not mentally or physically. I just need to lower the excitement and all that, and just kind of keep it mellow and be humble to the game, because this game is way too brutal to just go out there and just think you're the stud of life.
So what is your max velo you've ever hit on the gun?
From sources, I have 101. I know I hit 100. I don't know about 101, but and it wasn't an all-time thing. I haven't hit it many times, but I have hit it.
Did you feel different when you did it, or it felt like the same as 95, or you felt something special click there? For people that are going to be watching that doesn't know what it feels like to throw over 90, how does it feel to throw 100?
To be honest, though, that game that I know I hit 100, it was a big adrenaline boost. It was my last game of college. I went through junior year knowing that I was gonna probably not go back. Mm-hmm. But knowing that it was a redemption from against Maine that I had to do, and my team was on the it was a cutthroat. If we lost, we were eliminated. If I won, we moved on to the next game. You know, so it was a lot was on the line, and I rose to the challenge, and I love that stuff.
So take me through the draft process. Where were you? Do you remember something specific about that day? Not the first time, but when you accepted it with the Giants, like what was that day like? Or you
With the Giants?
Yeah, or you keeping it low key again, where it's just another day?
The Giants, you know, that one was a lot more hard because junior year is end goal. You know, it's a time of that you need to go. You know, whatever they offer, you take and you run with, because if you stay for senior year, you're probably not getting the same deal you could get junior year. So it was a lot more stressful. Knowing that I was a 6th rounder out of high school, it put a lot of pressure on, you know, because the last thing I wanted was to not rise to what I was. You know, I was talking to almost virtually every club at the time. And, you know, it came down to the 7th round, got a phone call from the Pirates, and didn't work out too well through negotiation with them. So we went on, and I was very thankful that the Giants were right behind and was right there with what they offered and was true to what they said. And the Giants are an unbelievable club, and I'm really happy where I am. I couldn't be in a better situation.
What's your big goal for this upcoming year, and what are your goals in the next 2 or 3 years?
Goals for this year is more define myself and make myself be known as a professional, not a minor leaguer. I want to leave this year either who made the 40-man, got brought up, or did something in the bigs, or I'm right on the cusp going into the next year. You know, that's my goal. I want to be looked at as someone way above where I am as right now.
And what about 2-3 years out?
2-3 years out, I'm projected to be to have my shot by 2020. But you know, it all rides on how well you play and how well you push and how hard you work. So, you know, if I could beat the 2020, I would love to do that.
What does it mean for you to accomplish everything that you've accomplished?
It means a lot. There was a lot of hard work, you know. My dad has been my coach throughout my whole life. I've had very few coaches, but my dad has been the most consistent one. He's there for me all the time. He goes to games. He's the harsh dad with the baseball front, but the most loving dad on the father front. So it's the best of both worlds, and I got everything I know from him. And I'm thankful that I really have a father like that who, you know, is always going to be there and keep pushing me.
Thanks, bro.
No problem.
Dopeness.
That was dope.